Hi everyone! In preparation for National Pollinator Week, wanted to share with you a little bit about the Connecticut Audubon Society's Deer Pond Farm Pollinator Garden. So I'm surrounded by some beautiful plants that are just coming into bloom. We have some clethra, some lupine, some butterfly weed. Remember, not all weeds are bad. This pollinator garden started a number of years ago and it's all volunteer-based. It originally started as a nursery by Mrs. Riston, who had it here kind of cultivating some smaller trees before they would go out into the forest. The goal of having our pollinator garden here is really to connect people and educate them about nature and specifically pollinators, the pollinating plants as well as the pollinators, the birds, the bees themselves. So during our education programs, weekly we have a garden gaggle group that helps to educate our visitors. The pollinator garden is actually right off of our visitor parking area, so it serves as a wonderful welcome entry to the Deer Pond Farm Sanctuary. Every time you come to visit, you'll see something new, whether it's the lupine in bloom or other things seasonally, so make sure you're planting for the seasons, and we hope to see you here soon.
One of the major components of Connecticut Audubon Society's mission is the conservation of biodiversity, and although we focus a great deal on the charismatic species of birds, there's so much more than that. Connecticut is host to over 100 species of butterflies. A lot of people don't know there are over 300 species of bees. Most of them don't sting, but all of them will move pollen around. All of them require different plants for, say, the caterpillars of the butterflies. And so we selected many of the species in here to meet those needs, as well as to provide food after pollen is moved around and seeds and fruits are formed. Those then provide food for all manner of wildlife. We're also a certified monarch way station. The monarch butterfly has a pretty fascinating life history. They overwinter down in Mexico, and then successive generations move north over the course of the spring and summer, and they depend on milkweed, of which we have 4 species here in the pollinator garden, for their caterpillars that then in September, October, make the long journey back down to Mexico. So we are a small spot here in Sherman, but we are continental in our mission of conservation of biodiversity.
Hey everybody, I'm up here at our Deer Pond Farm Sanctuary in Sherman, and I'm outside at our pollinator garden. As you can see, everything is absolutely thriving. Besides me here, about 5.5 feet tall, this is Pye Weed, fantastic pollinator plant for bees and butterflies. This will bloom a little later in the summer and continue on through the fall. Beside me here, we have wild bergamot, or monarda. This is a fantastic pollinator plant. Hummingbirds absolutely love it, which hummingbirds are also pollinators. Moving forward, some more monarda. We have some black-eyed Susans here. This is swamp milkweed. This is a host plant for our monarch butterfly. Very important plant to have in not only our garden, but your garden as well. So the monarchs will come, lay their eggs on the underside of these leaves. They will hatch. They will be incredibly small. They will feed on the leaf, grow every single day until they're big enough to crystallize and become a monarch butterfly. A couple other plants that we have in our garden here are beard tongue. As you can see, this is in flower right now. The bumblebees, honeybees, other pollinators absolutely love this plant. As you can see, there's a bunch of bees on it right now. This is a little earlier blooming plant. What we like to do is we like to incorporate a lot of different stages of flower, and I suggest doing that at home in your garden as well. Some describe it as a slow motion fireworks display, so you get pollinator value throughout the entire growing season. Behind me here, we have sneezeweed. This is a little later flower. Beautiful, beautiful yellow flowers on that. Another favorite of pollinators and butterflies. Another species of milkweed that we have in our garden here. This is butterfly weed, or Asclepias tuberosa. Another really important host plant for monarch butterflies. Not only that, but the bloom and the flower, great for pollinators as well. We also incorporate some shrubs as well as perennials and herbaceous plants. So here we have clethra, or summer sweet. Really, really good plant to have in your garden as well. Really pretty flower. Hummingbirds love it, butterflies love it. Just behind there we have our lupin, which is a gorgeous wildflower, and full flower right now. Absolutely stunning plant. So another shrub or small tree that we've planted here in our pollinator garden is Spicebush, and this is a fantastic plant to incorporate into your home garden as well. It really thrives in a bunch of different types of conditions. So you can plant it in shade or sun, wet spots or fairly dry spots. So it really has a wide range of habitat that it can live in. Also, one of the benefits of this plant is not only the pollinator value early in the season. This flowers very, very early, one of the first plants that you'll see flowering out in the woods, but also it is a host plant for our Spicebush swallowtail. And right now I'm taking a look on here to see if I see any caterpillars or eggs. Unfortunately, I don't see any right now, but that doesn't mean that they weren't here. So if you take a look, you can see all the chewing on the leaf there. That is definitely from a caterpillar. So we know that you know, if you plant it, they will come, so to speak. So we definitely had caterpillars here at one point. Maybe they have already turned into the adult form of the Spicebush swallowtail butterfly. The other thing about this plant, which is pretty neat, is it's used in a lot of insect repellents. So the leaf itself can be rubbed on the skin in some occasions and actually perform as a insect repellent.
Hello, we're part of the Garden Gaggle that volunteers to take care of this amazing garden. We also learn from our wonderful supervisor Stefan, and we also monitor and see what's going on in the garden. And we're standing next to our water source, which is a beautiful little bird bath that anyone can put in the garden, and it helps with all the pollinators. Deer Pond Farm has become all our haven, and we recommend you come and enjoy this beautiful place.